Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing Fluffal Negates. The reason why I'm playing by myself right here is because in the 2 hours of testing every single person I faced scooped before I could do the full combo, so I couldn't really use those replays right there. So right here, this combo is actually super consistent unless you brick horribly hard drawing every single one of your garnets. And you don't even run those many garnets. So we have Summoner Monk right here and Toy Vendor. You know how this goes. Summoner Monk, discard Toy Vendors to summon Fluffal Penguin. We have Fluffal Dolphin on our field too, which is really great. We're gonna use Toy Vendor, search a copy of Fluffal Dog. We can choose to summon the Fluffal Dolphin and reset that vendor, but we can also just choose to summon the dog and get the copy of Fluffal Bear as a follow-up for next turn. Not as follow-up for next turn. We can just use it now. Why wait till next turn? The other reason why we're running this is because Toy Vendor is very good fodder for Zephyros cards you can return to your hand. So right here we have full combo. We had 3 level 4s and one extra card that we can bounce to our hand. We're gonna use 4 Strix to search Singing Lady summon to self because we control Xyz's monster. We're gonna be summoning the 1 Y Strix summon Zephyros. We're gonna overlay it and the extra level 4 to go into 4 Strix. Detach the Zephyros, search a copy of Bora. We already had a copy of Bora. We can go ahead, set a copy of Social Force, bounce back the Toy Vendor in order to summon our Bora. Next we can summon the Bora. We can also choose to summon another Bora. We're going to go into the Union Carrier. Union Carrier will trigger, which will equip Thunderbird to our Symbolic Bird of Sovereignty. We can then go into a Soul Shake Force, overlay into a Cyber's Infinity thing. And we're going to use the effect of Toy Vendor, because why not, which will end up sending a copy of Called by the Grave to the graveyard. Pretty much we just ate up our Union Carrier with Cyber Infinity. And right here, this is pretty much the end board. If you're not familiar with Infinigates, pretty much Apex, Avion, and Thunderbird. As long as you have both of them on the field, it's Infinigates. What Thunderbird does, you can return 1 Miss Valley card you control from the field to the hand in order to negate the activation of card. And Miss Valley Thunderbird, once it returns from the field to the hand, you can summon back. And neither of these are once returned, so we can return this to the hand to negate, summon it, return back to the hand to negate, summon it, and it's infinite. The only problem is that it does fall to Kaiju's, Dark Ruler no more, whatnot. Pretty much Cyber Dragon Infinity deals with if your opponent uses multiple cards in the same chain, because Apex Avion can only be used once per chain. So that's why we have the other Infinity. There's another way. I found a more, better way, that where you can use your infinite negates. All you need is any way to get 2 level 4 monsters on the field and 1 Time Thief Winder. We'll just go straight to it. So right here we pretty much have the this full combo. All you need is Time Thief Winder and any way to get 2 level 4s. And the way we get 2 level 4s isn't that conspicuous either. We can just use Foolish Burial, send Toy Vendor. Foolish Burial goods practically turns into a Rota of the deck. We get to search a copy of Doggo. Now we're going to normal summon Penguin, use its effect, summon a copy of Doggo. Doggo will search a copy of Fluffal Wings. Now in this case, you might recognize we have Fluffal Bear and Fluffal Wings in our hand. We can just discard the bear, activate Toy Vendor, discard Wings, draw 1, Fluffal Wings will trigger, you get to draw another one, and then you send Toy Vendor to the grave, draw another one, then you get another search. It's pretty cool. You practically go +2 off that interaction, but we're not going to do it today. Pretty much we're just going to detach 1, search a Singing Lady. I'm not showing it because I want to show that it doesn't matter if these cards are pretty much dead. Pretty much this is standard. We have the 4 Strix, we have Singing Lady, but now we have the Time Thief Winder. The reason I've decided to incorporate this is because 4 Strix, as you may know, has no use of its second overlay unit. So we can summon a Time Thief Winder off its effect, and then we can use its effect to search a copy of Time Thief Hack, which acts as fodder for Zephyros Steely. We're going to activate it, go into a Y-Strix, go into a Zephyros, overlay into 4 Strix, and we're going to detach the Zephyros specifically in order to search a copy of Bora the Spear. Then we're going to use the effect of Y-Strix. It's mandatory, we have to set a rank of magic to our field. We're going to use the effect of Zephyros in order to bounce back our copy of Time Thief Hack in order to summon it. Next, we will go into Smart. We can special summon the Bora from our hand because we control a Blackwing. And then we can go into Union Carrier. Union Carrier will go ahead and equip a copy of Thunderbird. Then Social Force will trigger, pay half our life points. We can rank a bit into Infinity. I didn't mean to put it in defense mode. It was a bit of a misclick. I meant to put it in attack, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. The more we'll activate during the end phase. Apex Avion, and we pretty much have almost the same game state. On top of that, if we, with the Toy Vendor, if we decide to discard the Fluffal Bear in order to get a Toy Vendor and use Toy Vendor to discard the wings, if we don't end up hitting Apex Avion by some sort of miracle, we might be able to get 2 extra draws and an extra search for a Fluffal monster, which is super great. And the amount of advantage Fluffal generate, and on top of that, their cards are level 4, which fits perfectly well with the team of Infinite Negates. So we will go straight into our deck profile then. So here is the deck profile. We have 1 copy of Apex Avion, 1 copy of Chris the Crack of Dawn, 2 copies of Winder. Really, did not put 3 copies of this. I believe I did put 3 copies of this, didn't I? Don't know where that copy went. I think Monster Reborn is a bit unnecessary in this deck. Sometimes it can act as a life-saving thing. Sometimes it just acts as a dead card. If you draw it off something like a Toy Vendor. I'm conflicted about using this, so you put it in there if you really want to. Probably should do triple Winder because of the thing I just showed you. You can get infinite advantage of Winder. Triple Bora is unnecessary. Triple Winder is 3 copies of Dog. Dog is kind of necessary, I'd say, especially if you open Penguin and Dog. Not only do you get the search of Dog, usually you're going to be searching Bear. You also get the 2 level 4s in tandem with Penguin. 2 Bora the Spear. It's basically an extra search of our 4 Strix. Also good if you end up drawing it, because then you'll have the extra monster on the field. 3 copies of Penguin, a key extender in terms of our Fluffals. 2 copies of Zephyros the Elite. Zephyros is Zephyros bounces back stuff. It also bounces back your copy of Toy Vendor, which will let you it's a soft once per turn. So if you activate its effect once, you can activate it again. 2 copies of Dolphin. I was wanting 3 copies earlier, but I think 2 copies is just enough. 2 copies of Summoner Monk. Really, not only does it get the level 4 onto your field, it also is a target for, Toy Vendor is a spell, so you can just discard off Summoner Monk, summon something, Toy Vendor will trigger, which lets you search another card, generating more advantage. 1 copy of Singing Lanius. The problem with stuff like Apex Avion, Thunderbird, Singing Lanius is you have to hope you don't draw it off Toy Vendor. Most people don't even use Toy Vendor just to draw it, they just use it as stuff to it's a graveyard effect, but I do time to time use its other effect just to discard the Fluffal wings from my hand, and I have to hope that I don't draw any of these. That's pretty much the only scenario where I use Toy Vendor, unless I am super desperate, but I don't really use Toy Vendors first effect that much. 3 copies of Fluffal Bear. Fluffal Bear practically searches Toy Vendor. It just searches Toy Vendor, I'd say. 1 copy of Thunderbird for it's basically a Union Carrier target. 2 copies of Fluffal Wings. I'd say 2 copies is fair enough. Pretty much you can just search it off Dog 02. And you pretty much want to hope that you when you discard it off Toy Vendor, you want to hope that you don't draw anything bad like a Singing Lady's Thunderbird or Apex Avian. We have the 1 copy of Soulshade Force to rank up our Force tricks in the graveyard into a Cyber Dragon Infinity. With 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods, this basically turns a Toy Vendor basically turns Foolish Burial Goods into a Fluffal Rota. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, it's limited, so only 1 copy, turned into a life-saving extender sometimes if you're not able to draw enough pieces. 3 copies of Called by the Grave for those hand traps. 1 Celestial Transformation, just if you want to summon maybe a Doggo or a Fluffal Penguin from your hand, just because why not, it's a really good target. 3 copies of Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is always great. Its graveyard effect is overpowered. Not really overpowered, but it's super great. 1 copy of our Time Thief Hack, 1 copy of a Retrograde. Really, Retrograde is there in case I do not end up drawing Hack. In case I do end up drawing Hack, it's just an extra search, and if I'm able to get the 2 level 4s on the field, I can use it. For extra deck, we have 1 copy of Infinity, 1 copy of Bahamut Shark. I have pulled off Bahamut Shark a couple of times, mainly because both Penguin and Dolphin are both waters, so you can just use them to go into a Bahamut Shark. 1 copy of Redoer, it's our target for Retrograde. 1 copy of Abyss Dweller never hurt anybody. 2 copies of Force Tricks. Force Tricks is practically the main combo piece in terms of our Infinite Negate combo. 1 copy of Totally Awesome, it's our target for Bahamut Shark. One copy of Utopic Future Dragon, 1 copy of Utopic Future. Both of these are really good cards, especially in this deck because it's kind of an Xyz spam deck, I guess. 1 copy of Avermax, 1 copy of... Oh yes, and I have to explain one thing quickly. If you have two remaining monsters after your full combo, you can link those 2 into an IP Mask Arena, which helps you go into an Avermax during your opponent's turn, which means the problem with this deck is that when you use Apex Avian first, Thunderbird will summon itself, so your opponent can just attack over it, and with your Apex Avermax, you do not have to worry about that at all. 1 copy of Megaclops, Incredible Boss Monster. 1 copy of Simorg, really just to get that Apex Avian out of the deck. 1 copy of our Wystrix to summon Zephyros. 1 copy of Union Carrier to equip Thunderbird. And finally, we have 1 copy of IP Masquerena, just for the Avermax play. So that's the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. Do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.